Welcome to the video. In this video, I'm going to talk about why most people fail. And this is something that I learned personally also myself in my journey, and it was very painful to realize, and it was very humbling. But the moment that I learned or realized this is exactly why I'm keep failing. This is exactly why I am where I am. This is exactly why I'm feeling stuck. This is exactly why I'm not growing. This is exactly why I don't have what I want. This is exactly what I haven't manifested what I want. Maybe you're feeling this exactly the same feeling of like feeling stuck and not being able to get to the next level. You probably achieved a lot already, and then you manifested this and that, and when you're in a business, you are already in the middle of the process, but there's something that's like there's a ceiling and you cannot break through. And I can tell you that 90% of the time when you're feeling stuck, it comes from a belief, it comes from your mind, it comes from how you feel about it, about your journey, business, and about your goal, and about who you are, the self-image. And I can guarantee if you stick to this video, and I'll tell you exactly what you need to do, and it's gonna sound like the most boring basic shit that you're gonna ever hear today, or probably in this month or entire year. But I can guarantee if you really understand what I'm going to tell you, you're not going to fail whatever you try. If you can actually maintain what I'm going to tell you in this video, like over and over and over, every single day, then you're not going to fail what you actually want in your journey. So let me tell you a bit of a story. When I was young, I was very confident at my skills. I played basketball and I was very good at this and that, and fashion and XYZ. I was very talented. But because of that, I had so much ego. My ego was bigger than this planet. You know, it was really, really hard for me to be self-aware and control my ego and decide something that what my conscious wants, not my ego wants. And if you're a high achiever and if you have lots of skills and talent, then you might experience the same thing. Like your ego just keep expanding, and then you want to control it. You know, you want to learn how to just stay calm and at peace rather than just like, you know, going crazy and feeding your ego. But it's difficult, right? Because you are talented, because people give you validation and feeds your ego, right? So like you have to consciously tell yourself to know that you're just a man. You're better than nobody. Nobody's better than you. But obviously I was young, I couldn't realize that I have zero self-awareness, you know, I didn't meditate, nothing. So when I was young, my ego was just taking over and controlling my decision and everything. And until I learned and then really painfully realized that I am too arrogant as a human being. I am just simply too arrogant to listen to what people say and shut the fuck up and listen and do exactly what I'm told. And now I look back, my high school days, I played basketball. And the 3 years of playing basketball in this high school club really humbled me down, because the coach was really, really strict, you know, like he kicked me and stuff like that. And we had to do like hundreds of push-ups and just insane training. And it was really, really horrible. Everybody hated going practices. Everybody hated it. But because of that, it really taught me how to stay disciplined and be able to do things what you were told. And obviously you cannot skip it because he's watching. He's sitting down right there watching. And if you're half-assed doing it, obviously he's going to shout the fuck out and yell at you. And you're going to have to do like 200 push-ups and stuff. But in life, we don't have this coach. His name is Gochi. We don't have Gochi. You know, Gochi is not watching on the chair, and sometimes he fall asleep. But we don't have Gochi, so we can easily learn something from YouTube, learn something from your online program, learn something from this mentorship coach or whatever. And then you can easily say, oh, I learned a lot of things. And then they tell you this is exactly what you need to do. And then if you do it, you're going to grow, you're going to get this, X, Y, Z. And then you're going to sit there and you're like, that's really cool. Yeah, I'll definitely try that. But right now I'm too busy, I cannot do it. Right now it's just not my best timing. I've got this and that. I'm going to travel. I'm going to Bali. It's like, why did you ask in the first place? Why did you even ask in the first place, taking someone else's time and then make them explain to you so that you can understand why you have to do it? And then the first thing that most people say is that, wow, that's amazing, and then I'll do that, and then they never do. They never do, because I'll do that is literally, I'm not gonna do it right now, but I'll try future, and then I'll try for a couple of days, and I'll quit. That's exactly what I'll do that mean. So what I mean by I was too arrogant is because my ego was big. I thought I knew things. I thought I was smart. I thought I'm capable. But the truth is, every step of the way to get where I am humbled me down. I didn't know about anything about social media. Like now, yes, I have a bunch of followers, which I really appreciate. But when I started it, I only had 1,000 followers. But I also 1,500 followers or something like that. But I was following this quite same amount of people, and then I didn't get this like somebody followed you, somebody followed you, somebody followed you on my notification. It's just pretty much a friends. And I wasn't posting because I felt insecure. I didn't want to post random pictures. I only wanted to post like the best picture from the modeling, work and whatever. So I wasn't posting much. I didn't know any algorithm, psychological, principle behind the scene. None of that. And I didn't know about a business. I didn't know about anything. I didn't know about speaking properly. I had zero skill in speaking. And my accent, obviously, some people think that, my accent is pretty good. My English is pretty good. But I learned everything. I could speak English to communicate with people. But when it comes to like explaining clearly and articulate my thoughts and actually be able to speak like this and encourage you and motivate you, it was a long journey. It was a long journey. If you speak a couple of language, then you probably understand. When it comes to the second language, it was difficult. And I don't speak like 5 different languages. I only speak Japanese and English. So like for me, it was still a huge step. But my point is, in my life, I always think about this Gotchi. I always think about like, yeah, he humbled me down. Whenever I'm so egoistic, when I'm like becoming this, my ego is coming out, I just need to humble myself down because I was too arrogant. And that was the only reason why I wasn't learning. So then you never get better at anything. And here's a really important rule that you need to set yourself in your life is asking yourself, how much are you willing to learn? And I know it's boring. It's the most boring question I can ever ask to myself every day. But I ask myself every day, how much am I willing to learn? Especially when you're speaking to somebody, especially when you're listening to somebody, you ask yourself, how much are you willing to learn? How much am I willing to learn? On a scale 1 to 10, if it's 10, then you're like, writing things down, and then you were like trying to understand and researching and stuff like that. You're doing something, like you're fully learning. And then when you 1, you fucking laid down on a bed, not listening, eating at the same time. A lot of people actually like that. And in Japan, that's not allowed. Maybe US, people don't know what the actual attitude means. But in Japan, we are very strict about attitude. If you want to learn something, you show up with the attitude of, hey, I want to learn, please teach me. But I think people are so westernized and Americanized. Now people don't have it. If you show up in Japan, have zero attitude to learn, like they're not going to teach you. They're not going to teach you. They'll slap your face. This is how it used to be, and that's what I love about. That's what I also learned. Humble myself. Like if I show up with the attitude, like, oh, I got this, and I'm good at playing basketball. He fucking shaved my head. He kicked my face, and he fired me from being captain. It humbled me down. Only by experiencing from somebody like that, and in a very extreme way or painful way, I learned I am too arrogant. But the truth is, most people are too arrogant to learn. That's why, like I said, somebody is going to tell you exactly what you need to do, and then you'll say, oh, I'll do it. They never do. You just have to shut your mouth, do it. Even if the timing is bad, even if you've got something to do it after. Even if you have to go to a party, don't go. You always have a choice. So then, that is a responsibility of yours. But you have so many opportunities that literally just passing by in front of your face every day. And then 10 years later, you regret. And you're still in the exact same place. because you are not willing to learn. I'm telling you, when I literally learned this question to ask myself, the practice, and then actually looking into myself and asking, am I coachable? Am I teachable? But I will promise you, if you forget about all these tactics and strategy, how I manifest the law of attraction, journaling process, XYZ, if you shut your mouth and listen to people and do exactly what you're told, but only from people who have what you want. Because if you're listening to somebody who doesn't have what you want, obviously you're listening to wrong people. When you're listening to the right people, you have to just shut your mouth, listen, ask yourself, how much am I willing to learn? How much am I willing to learn? Am I a best student right now? Because if you are the best student in the class, you learn the most, and then you will get the better score than everybody else. So you have to be the best student in the world. How much are you willing to learn? Listen, the world is filled with amazing people and talented people, and people easily better than you, 100 times better. And then if you look at the nature, we cannot do anything with it, right? Like nature will kill you instantaneously, earthquake, or even these like predators and lions and cheetahs and all these strong animals, they can kill you, right? So if you actually think about that, we can humble us down. But if you're in a comfortable situation all the time, comfortable environment, you feel good, you feel comfortable, you feel like you're bigger than that. That's why ego grows. But if you're always in an environment that you know there's somebody better than you, you know there's like people are doing better than you, and then you humble yourself down because you cannot show up and like, hey, I'm better than you. So be mindful your willingness, your teachability, your coachability, and just absorb like a sponge and then learn it and then do it. And then don't just try 3 days and like, oh, it doesn't work. This doesn't work. It's just not for me. Do it thousands of days. Because that's how we practice, right? That's how I practice basketball. That's how you practice every other thing. Speaking language. I introduced myself thousands of times, and that's how I know how to say things in communication. That's how I can communicate in English right now. So let's humble ourselves and be willing to learn and be the best student in the class. All right, with that said, I'll see you in the next video. Ciao. Live your life like a movie.